Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the massive global spectacle that is the 2026 World Cup final. We're going to uncover the fascinating mathematical models that actually predicted this exact matchup. Whether you're a diehard football fan or a total data science nerd, there's just something truly magical about trying to quantify the beautiful game, right? Well, today, we've got some incredibly cool source material to unpack. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the 2026 World Cup final itself. Then, we're chasing the golden ball. Third, we'll talk about predicting a chaotic 48-team tournament. Fourth, upgrading the ELO rating. And finally, the ultimate statistical simulation.
All right, part one, the 2026 World Cup final.
So setting the stage for this Sunday, July 19th, we have a clash of absolute titans. We're talking Europe's top-ranked Spain, looking for their second world title, going up against South America's #1, Argentina, who are hunting for their fourth. And guys, the sheer scale of this event, it is staggering. It's happening at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey in front of over 82,000 fans. Plus, FIFA confirmed U.S. President Donald Trump will be presenting the trophy. Oh, and for the very first time, we're getting a massive Super Bowl-style halftime show. Seriously, an 11-minute mega concert featuring Madonna, Justin Bieber, Shakira, BTS, and Burna Boy. And the kickoff itself, preceded by a closing ceremony with Tom Cruise. It's going to be an absolute spectacle, no doubt about it. Moving on to part two, chasing the golden ball. Now, beyond the team glory, the individual stakes are just sky high. Just take a look at these odds from Fox Sports. Lionel Messi is a heavy favorite to win his third golden ball, sitting way up there at -600. If he pulls this off, he extends his own record because he's already the only player to ever win it twice in 2014 and 2022. But hey, the Spanish stars are still very much in the hunt. Midfielder Rodri has surged up the board to +650 after totally stifling the French attack in the semis. And we absolutely cannot ignore 19-year-old Lamine Yamal at +2500. I mean, he had a massive impact by drawing a penalty to set up Spain's first goal against France. So why is Messi such a massive favorite? Well, it's because he has scored or assisted in 11 straight World Cup matches. I mean, let that sink in for a second. That is literally the longest streak on record since 1966. He scored in every single one of the first 5 matches of this tournament and then added a combined 3 assists across the quarter and semifinals. He is, quite frankly, a total statistical anomaly on the pitch.
But, with so many global superstars playing and this massively expanded tournament format this year, it really begs a million-dollar question. And this is the real pivot for our analysis today. How on earth could anyone have reliably predicted this exact Spain versus Argentina final? Which brings us to part 3, predicting a 48-team tournament. To figure out how anyone could actually predict this, we're turning to a genuinely fascinating research paper from Archive by Mina Rezai and S. Yasser Samadi. They had to forecast a tournament that basically fundamentally changed its own rules. The 2026 format expanded to 48 teams, spread across 12 groups. This created a brand new round of 32 and ballooned the whole thing to 104 total matches. Because of this massive added complexity and that extra knockout round, standard predictive modeling became incredibly difficult. You couldn't just pick a winner anymore. You had to calculate probabilities for this giant, tangled web of potential outcomes. So, to understand how the researchers solved this giant puzzle, we first need to talk about the ELO rating. Originally developed for chess, this is a system that gives every single team one single rating number. And after every match, that number updates. Say you beat a team who are mathematically expected to beat, your score goes up just a little bit. But if you pull off a massive upset against a top-tier team, your score shoots up a lot. It's pretty widely considered to be one of the most accurate, simple rating systems for international football.
All right, part 4, upgrading the ELO rater.
Now, while traditional ELO is great, the researchers realized that looking at just a single static rating on the day of the match, well, it just isn't enough. Imagine you have 2 teams with the exact same rating today, but one team has been steadily climbing for 6 months, right? While the other has been absolutely plummeting after a terrible qualifying run. The old model treats them exactly the same. The new way, though, it treats a football team like a moving object. The researchers realized that measuring a team's recent momentum over a 6-month history is way more predictive than just knowing their current location on the rating scale. But here's the real technical hurdle they faced. If you just dump 6 months of highly correlated historical data into a model, it gets unstable and basically crashes. So to process all that complex momentum data, they used a statistical technique called categorical sufficient dimension reduction, or SDR for short. Think of SDR like a highly advanced filter.
It takes all that messy 6-month history and extracts only the absolute most vital predictive directions of a team's trajectory. Once they had those super clean momentum scores, they fed them into a Poisson double regression model, which, if you don't know, is a classic football modeling tool used to calculate independent home and away goal probabilities based on team strength.
And that brings us to the key takeaway for this entire explainer, which is exactly what the researchers noted right here. A team's historical trajectory matters just as much as their current standing. The researchers actually proved that upgrading from a static number to this dynamic, momentum-based model significantly reduced prediction errors when they back-tested it against the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. Pretty amazing, right?
Finally, Part 5, the ultimate statistical simulation.
Okay, so the math checks out in history, but let's see how it actually performed when tasked with predicting the chaotic future of the 2026 tournament. Using their advanced SDR model, the researchers didn't just casually guess the winner. No, they ran 5,000 Monte Carlo simulations of the entire 104-match World Cup. That means the computer mathematically played out every single group stage tiebreaker, every knockout bracket, and every penalty shootout, 5,000 times to see which teams consistently survived the gauntlet. And look at how incredibly tight the results of those 5,000 simulations were. But check out who came out on top. Their advanced save dimension reduction model accurately isolated Spain at 16.6% and Argentina at 16.1% as the two absolute most statistically probable champions in the world. I mean, long before the tournament even started, the math pointed directly to the exact final we're getting this Sunday. And it's not just the academic researchers seeing this either. Aligning perfectly with the archive study, Opta's commercial supercomputer, as reported by Al Jazeera, also gives Spain a slight edge, calculating a 45.1% probability of Spain winning the final outright in 90 minutes of regulation time.
Now, when you isolate just this head-to-head matchup, leaning mathematically on that 6 months of complex ELO trajectory data we talked about, it favors Spain by just a tiny fraction of a percent. We're talking 50.7%, 49.3%. It is virtually a mathematical coin toss, which perfectly reflects the elite status of these two squads.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. We've seen how incredible data science, dimensional reduction, and momentum tracking can effectively predict the structure of a massive 40-18 tournament. But, no matter how perfect the math is, and no matter what the probabilities say, the match still has to actually be played on the pitch. Will these advanced data models be proven completely right? Or will a moment of unpredictable, pure magic from someone like Lionel Messi or Lamine Yamal totally defy the numbers? I guess we'll all just have to tune in to MetLife Stadium on Sunday to find out. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and enjoy the final.